Hi everyone, welcome to Veronika Hug. Today I'll show you how you can do such a scarf. So here we are doing additions on the left and the right side stepwise, so symmetrically, so that the right side is not taller than the left or the other way around. So that's why we do different additions on both sides. Apart from that, you may notice some deeper stitches I did here. Due to the color, it might not be as easy to notice where they are in the pattern. So take a closer look or stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to do those as well. Those are interesting. Change up your pattern a little bit, make it a bit more interesting, and it's relatively easy to do. I'm using my bobble cotton wool. So if you did it with a yarn that's in one color or maybe a lighter gradient, you would have been able to see it more nicely. So I hope when I zoom in that it's a little bit more visible. But you're going to see they basically build these little horizontal stitches that kind of freshen up the pattern and make it a bit more interesting. So stay tuned for the project. I'll just add that I think it's a lovely pattern since it's pretty dense. And that makes it perfect for the upcoming winter and the colder weather, especially if you live somewhere where it's windy. So yeah, that's my recommendation, but feel free to do with the pattern whatever you want. Stay tuned. So let's start with some bobble here in dark blue and light blue. I have a bit here in orange, but I think I'll use my leftover bobble cotton. So anyway, grab your own materials and let's get going. My needle is 4 millimeters. So let's do 6 chains as loosely as possible. Continue with another chain for the height, and then into each chain we're doing a single, but make sure you only go into the top loop of the chain. Five, 6, and then again a chain. And I'll also mark the rows so that if you need to rewind, you can rewind to a specific section or row. Now turn, and let's just go through the back loop, and we're again going to do singles. Three, 6, 'So the third row has additions, so let's do 4 chains since I'm adding 4 stitches every time. Turn and do another chain for the height, and the chains I'll again do like before. Into the back loop we do a single, 1 for each chain. And the following 6 chains we continue in the same manner. 6. So here we will again start new additions. So this time you go through, you take the thread, and then the step that I forgot is an additional chain that you do in here. And then when you do the chain, you can finally finish up the single that you started, and that way we get our additions. Then we do a chain through the back section, and then a chain for the following stitch and close up the slip stitch, and then repeat. So you don't forget the extra chain, and then you're good. And here we also need 4 additions. So you see that I did additions on both sides, so the steps are symmetrical. And if I did this in the next row, the steps would not be symmetrical or the same, and the effect would kind of go missing. So anyway, let's start our next row. So this one is going to be easy. We're doing just the deeper singles in this one. This way you get a ribbed pattern in your scarf, and it looks lovely in the end. Fourth row done. Fifth row is going to be the same. So singles into the back loop, and don't forget a chain for the height in the beginning. Six and 7. I'm just counting the stitches. So 10 total. Fourth, last added one, so 14 total. Start with a chain and turn your work, and now again another row with deeper singles. Four additions and then 6 base ones we started with. And the last 4 additions. Four, and there we are. So now in the 7th row I'll do additions. Let's do 4 chains. one for the height, and again do them with deeper single crochets. So you see here that I'm simply continuing the same way. So we had here 4 and 4 on the other side. So that's a total of 14 chains that we're doing in the middle. And the first one is here. Four. Ten. Here 14, so here we do an additional chain so that we can continue with our 4 additions. So now go through here and do a chain and close up the stitch, and do 3 more additions the same way. Third, and 1 more. Four, there we are. Chain and turn, and now again do singles throughout the whole row. So we had 14 stitches, and then plus 4 on both sides is now 22. Four. Eight. 12. 16. 20. 22, there we are. Now comes row 9, and here we again do a chain for the height and turn. "22 singles again. Four. Eight. So if you want to emphasize this effect, you can do that by going into the 11th stitch here. So a bit lower, 2 rows down, through here and through the top section as well. And then you would just do a regular single. And the same you can do with the next one. I'll do it slowly so that you can follow as well. And afterwards, we would just continue as we usually would. Eight, 10, chain for the height, and let's start the next row. And now again a row with just singles. If you like this effect, feel free to try it out. And now in row 11, we can do additions. So we added in row 3, 7, and now 11. So always 3 rows later or in the 4th row from the last one. And we always do chains at the beginning for the additions and for singles with the extra chain at the end. And we have a base of 22 singles at the moment. The deeper stitches we did, you can also do in every front row where we don't have the additions. I'll just finish this row and then I'll show you what I have. (22 plus 4 additions), and please don't forget the extra chain so that you're able to do the additions. Second addition, And last one. So now we have a back row with single crochets into the back loop. This was 3. Eight. 12. 16. 20. 24. 28. 30. 13, turn with the chain. So this is gonna have deeper stitches on both sides, so left and right. So 2 sides this time. And since I don't have enough stitches on both sides, I think I'll just skip and do a regular row with just regular singles. So instead of the planned deep stitches, I'm gonna skip out. And row 14 is a back row, and then row 15 is gonna be the row with the additions. So the row 13, just a base row because we don't have enough space for the deeper stitches. Okay, so I'll show you again the additions. So chains on the beginning end. And then the singles to the other end. And then you again add singles with the additional chain. So into the last base stitch, you do an extra chain so that you can do your additions. Row 16 is a regular back row, and then I'll meet you at the 17th row so that I can show you those deeper stitches that we wanted to do on both sides, since row 17 is going to be wide enough to have them on both sides of the original one we did on the bottom. Okay, so we will do a chain and turn, and then we will do 10 stitches in singles. So here we are. Let's go into the lower loop and through the top as well, and then do a single as always. So we do 2 like that. And then we do regular singles. So I'm now above the original deeper stitch. Ten. 14 stitches later, we again do 2 more deeper stitches. And we should have 10 stitches left over till the end. There we go. And that's how you continue. So in every 4th row, you will do additions on both sides. In every 8th row, you can do the deeper stitches, always 10 stitches from the beginning, and then you can do the 2 deeper stitches in the bottom rows. And then 14 stitches as usual, so single crochets, and then again you go 2 rows lower with again the 2 deeper stitches, and that's how you repeat it. So later 14 and 14, and then you will always end with 10 singles, just like when you began. So once again, every 4th row has the additions, every 8th row has the deeper stitches. So I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, Veronika. Hug. Bye!